Welcome to London Tonight this Wednesday evening.
Our news teams have been busy as always, and here's just some of what we got for you.
Work begins on the Rolls-Royce of youth clubs, where children will learn about the dangers of drug dealers on a virtual movie set. But at £8 million, is the price simply too high?
Plus, Chrissy will have the latest weather and will be live at Stamford Bridge. Can Chelsea get past Barcelona and make it a Champions League final against Manchester United?
But first, millions of pounds in taxpayers' money is being spent on a youth centre in London, complete with computer-generated drug dealers.
Well, children as young as 10 will be introduced to a virtual world where they can learn how to stay safe in the real world.
The Life Centre in Sutton will look like a high-tech movie set. Its centrepiece will be a digital street to warn kids about everything from muggers to paedophiles. And the criminals will appear in virtual form.
Well, the centre is costing £8 million and half of that will come from taxpayers. Glenn Goodman reports.
It's the Rolls-Royce of youth centres, a grand vision that will grab Sutton's youth by the scruff of the neck and scare the bejesus out of them until they agree to be good citizens. Built on the ashes of an old youth centre, the new £8 million Life Centre will rise like a phoenix, covering a huge area and incorporating a sports hall and a new library. Not some old-fashioned library like the one they're shutting down the road. No, according to the promotional video, the new library will be quite different.
Provide an informal atmosphere, more like a Waterstones bookshop than a traditional library.
The project is being funded by £4 million from the government and £4 million from Sutton Council. Now, with that budget, they can afford a real pièce de résistance. Young citizens of the future, it's time to enter the learning zone. This will be the centrepiece of the project, a virtual street where pre-teens will be invited to take a stroll. On their walk, they'll meet drug dealers, alcoholics, they'll get to witness a virtual mugging and experience gang culture up close and personal. It'll be fun, really, sort of like Disneyland. Oh, except here Mickey Mouse would be a murderous psychopath.
Our young people are out on the streets. No one is at home closeted. There are certain conversations we need to start having now with our young people, and 10 years old isn't too young to start talking about stranger danger.
But it's not all about crime and street culture. They're also creating a virtual home. It's set up to be a comfy environment where you can learn about online paedophiles and the dangers of exploding televisions.
This is a national first, Glenn. It's the first of its kind in the country, which is why we're so excited about it. It's going to be a place where young people can come and learn about personal safety, learn about what it's like to be a member of a technological modern world.
But not everybody's quite as excited as the council leaders.
No, I think children will learn from this experience. I don't think there's much doubt within that. What's key is that can we afford to give them a Rolls-Royce service, basically playing towards a PlayStation generation in a time of economic crisis, when we're having to raid reserves, we're having to raid the school's repair budget in the borough to actually pay for it in the first place.
Meanwhile, local parents had mixed feelings about the new centre.
It's a good idea to get children off the street and everything. We need a lollipop lady and a zebra crossing. You know, there's money to be done on safety. You want to go on safety, then down here there's nowhere to park and there's nowhere for our children to cross.
I think it's a good idea, but I don't like the idea of the virtual room. I think the money could be better spent in the schools, wear and tear, safety.
Sutton Council hope they're creating a landmark project that will pay for itself by attracting school parties from all over the South East. If that doesn't happen, local people may be paying for its upkeep for decades to come. Glenn Goodman, London Tonight, Sutton.
Lollipop ladies versus virtual reality learning. We'd like to hear your views on this story. Is it right that kids as young as 10 should be introduced to a virtual world of gang culture and drug dealing? And what about the fact that taxpayers' money is helping to pay for it?
Would you be concerned if your children were stepping onto a computer-generated movie set to learn about the dangers of real life? Or do the computer graphics turn it all into a big game? Or is that precisely the way to engage our kids?
Do send us an email or a text and we'll read out some of your messages a little later in the programme. Our main story tonight, the youth centre in South London, which will have computer-generated drug dealers and paedophiles. It's costing £8 million in taxpayers' money. But its backers say it's a modern way of keeping our kids safe on the streets.
Now, earlier we asked for your thoughts on that story.
Lenny and Rayleigh, more wasted money. How about parents teaching their kids manners and morals and some discipline?
Diane Dalston says, why not spend the money on getting rid of the drug dealers, muggers and paedophiles in Sutton?
Jennifer in Hertfordshire, it's the parents who should be telling their kids of the dangers out there, not a computer that makes it more of a game.
Yemi in Elephant and Castle says virtual games based on violence should be banned. Children should be playing outdoors and interacting with other kids.
Richard in Richmond, surely warning children about drug dealers and paedophiles is the job of parents and school teachers. There's a bit of a theme developing here, isn't there? Have we really reached the stage where they can no longer be relied upon to do this? Very sad if true.
Finally, Sam in Loughton says perhaps Sutton Council should get a virtual bank to pay for this project.
Boom, boom. Just to make it clear, the £8 million, half of it came from Sutton Council taxpayers and half of it came from Her Majesty's Treasury, which also means you and me. Yeah. That is all that we have time for tonight on London Tonight.
Well, Ben will be here with the late news after news at 10. Coming up shortly, though, it is the ITV Evening News.
So we're going to say goodbye for now. So from all of us here and the team behind this wall, a very good night to you. Good night.
Good night.